When you hear the term the 1%, you probably picture people living in mansions, flying private jets, and owning companies that make more in a day than most people earn in a year. But the real power of the 1% isn't found in their cars, their watches, or the vacations they post on social media. The real power is in how they manage in private. And well, this video is your behind-the-scenes pass. Because once you understand how the wealthy think about, handle, and multiply money, your financial life starts to change. This is how to manage your money like the 1%. The average person sees money as something to spend. They receive a paycheck, and it burns a hole in their pocket. Their first thought is what they can buy. The 1% operate differently. When they receive money, their first thought is what that money can do to work for them. They see money as leverage, as a worker, as a soldier going out to gather more soldiers. This mental separation between spending and investing is one of the clearest dividing lines between the financially free and the financially stuck. To manage money the way the wealthy do, you have to structure it like a business. And every well-run business operates from a stable foundation. Wealth is built in layers, and the most successful people treat their finances like a three-tiered system. The first layer is about survival. This is your emergency fund, your safety net, the cash that keeps your life running if everything goes wrong. The second layer is stability. This is where the money begins to work for you. Through assets that produce income like dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, or businesses that run without your daily involvement. And the third layer is growth. The long-term wealth, investments with massive potential, the ones that build empires if you give them time and patience. Most people spend their lives stuck between earning and spending, never moving beyond survival. But to break out, you must prioritize building all three layers, starting with a solid base. The 1% don't manage their money manually. They don't rely on motivation or memory. They set up systems, automatic, precise, and emotion-free. Their savings move without them lifting a finger, while investments compound in the background. Their cash flow is tracked and optimized. Every month they analyze, adjust, and upgrade. It's not guesswork, it's not set it and forget it. It's strategic, intentional, and constant. The difference between someone who gets rich and someone who stays broke is often in the systems they use or don't use. Managing money like the 1% means avoiding the traps that pull everyone else into the financial quicksand. Lifestyle inflation is the most common trap. As soon as most people make more money, they spend more. They upgrade their car, move to a bigger house, and sign up for subscription after subscription. But the truth is, if your expenses rise with your income, you're not actually getting richer. You're just running faster on a treadmill that never stops. Emotional spending is another trap. People shop when they're stressed, bored, insecure, or pressured to impress others. The 1% are immune to that because they're not trying to impress anyone. Their money has a job, and that job is to build freedom, not to feed the ego. One of the biggest reasons the 1% stay in the 1% is because they build income streams like layers of armor. They don't rely on just one paycheck, one client, or one investment. They build multiple sources of income, active and passive, that support and protect each other. They might start with a business, then add rental properties, invest in high-dividend stocks, build an online product, or buy into existing revenue streams. Some fail, some thrive, but all contribute to a system where one loss doesn't destroy the whole. That's how you build resilience with your money. Tracking your net worth isn't just for the ultra-wealthy. It's for anyone who takes their financial future seriously. The wealthiest individuals know exactly how much they're worth. Not to brag, but because that number tells a story. It tells them whether they're growing or shrinking. It tells them if they're on the right path or going in circles. If you're not tracking your assets and liabilities, you're flying blind. It's like trying to win a game without knowing the score. And if you're not measuring your progress, you'll never know if your efforts are actually moving you forward. There's a myth that the wealthy are simply lucky or born into money. But what really sets them apart is their understanding of risk. The 1% look for asymmetric opportunities, places where the downside is small, but the upside is, like, massive. They take calculated risks, place strategic bets, and look for investments where a small amount of capital can return outsized rewards. And honestly, they do it over and over, knowing that just a few big wins can change everything. Debt can either make you rich or keep you poor forever. The difference lies in how you use it. The 1% don't fear debt. They use it to acquire assets. They borrow to buy real estate, to grow businesses, to invest in income-generating systems. The average person borrows to consume, to buy things that lose value, to impress people who don't care. If the money you borrow helps you earn more than it costs you, it's working in your favor. But if it only gives you stuff, it's working against you. This is honestly one of the most powerful distinctions in all of personal finance. Ownership is another secret weapon of the wealthy. While others chase income, the 1% chase assets. They aim to own businesses, properties, stocks, intellectual property, things that grow in value and produce cash long after the work is done. They know that a person who earns a high salary is still trading time for money. But someone who owns a business or an asset has built a machine that runs without their time. That's real freedom. And honestly, the more they own, the more freedom they build. Your environment shapes your outcomes. The 1% are incredibly intentional about who they listen to, who they spend time with, and who they learn from. They spend time around people who challenge them to grow, who discuss ideas instead of gossip, who build rather than complain. The wrong crowd will have you normalizing debt, overspending, and mediocrity. The right crowd makes wealth building feel natural, expected, even urgent. So, choose carefully. Managing your money like the 1% isn't reserved for people with millions in the bank. It's a set of habits, decisions, and principles anyone can begin applying right now. It starts with thinking differently. It continues with acting strategically. And it ends with creating a life where money is no longer a stressor. It's a tool that works for you. Every dollar you touch is a seed. Plant it with purpose and just watch what grows. If this video gave you clarity, give it a like. If you're ready to take control of your money, subscribe and stick with us. We've got more insight, more tools, and more powerful content coming your way.